Welcome everybody. So we've had this shakeout in the Dow index back into the March or mid-March support as we wait for Fed minutes. So if we lose our footing here, then the Dow is going to come down a lot faster. Significant close here on the 31st, another deep close here yesterday, and here we are just around the 34.5 mark. So wait and see what, well, I'm going to wait and see what happens at the on the Fed minutes, and then to see if this is going to find some support and come back into this trend line up here. Potentially punch higher, or is this it? What I don't want as a day trader is to start sitting in this little range. I don't want that because it's going to take longer to sort out, to potentially be harder to make an income from it. But if we just shuffle around here, I think then ultimately we need to work out which way we're going to break. But path of least resistance is at the moment down. We're getting a series of lower highs, a series of lower closes. So the jury is going to give its decision today as to whether this market can sustain itself up here or if it's going to fall back. As far as stocks are concerned, obviously we'll come on to stocks in a minute. It's about being in the right sector. And so if you're in the right sector at the right time, i.e. in this run up to May, then I think you should do well. Otherwise, if you're exposed to sectors like the retail and, in my book, housing, then I think you could be in trouble. Right, let's look at the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is really ahead of the Dow. At the moment we're sitting underneath some support. So we have clearly broken some structure here, and at the moment the Nasdaq looks as if it's coming down to 14,000, 13,900, and if that doesn't hold, then we are coming potentially right down to 12.2. Longer term, obviously, I don't think we're just going to drop out of the sky. But anyway, so significant selling going on at the moment and pullbacks. So let's just see how that pans out. FTSE. The FTSE is sitting up really well against this February 10th drop-down area. So as long as it did drop today, but pull back into the close. So crucial point, these markets are all at an important juncture. You can see if we come out of here, we should get to 7,900 pretty quick. I think this is the only major index that's not gone back. Hang on a second, let me just make sure before I... Yeah, it's not actually tested pre-COVID highs yet. It was a lot slower, a lot more lethargic to do this. All right, so DAX, that got hit quite hard today. It's had some degree of recovery. Yeah, so that's a little bit more like the Nasdaq, broken down some key areas. Right, oil. With the US releasing reserves, 1 million barrels a day, and potential oversupply, as shown in the inventories today, then this is continuing to drop lower. So I would have thought we would come and see 94, 95 pretty soon. And if we stay down there, we could come all the way back down to 85. Otherwise, if we drop back down there and pull up, then I'd expect to get back to around about 110, 115. So the jury is out at the moment. Let's see how that one pans out. Gold, very erratic. We're stuck in this range. We're stuck in this 1890, 1950 range, so $60 range, going nowhere. However, volume is picking up. It has picked up here. If this is going to continue, a couple of days of selling. So again, jury's out. If the Fed minutes are hawkish, then that could see the short-term end to the gold. But otherwise, so let's wait and see. Silver, weaker at the moment, definitely weaker. Dollar index, yeah, we've got Fed minutes coming out 55 minutes, and here we are above this resistance on volume. So as you expect, the euro is lower. So a low euro with a low DAX is very bearish in my book. The normal healthy relationship of euro and DAX is divergent. We are convergent. So that confirms weakness in the DAX at the moment. Pound. Sitting under this key 2021 low with a prospect of dripping lower. Because if we bump into this 132 and don't hold, we are coming lower. But at the moment we are very sideways, really trapped in a tight range there. Right, volatility index is gaining. So be aware. Some heavy retracements going on in these indices and markets as a whole, with strong dollar and higher volatility. Right, let's just take a look at these banks. I'll just take a position in this Barclays, and at the moment I'm slightly underwater. We saw an uptick in volume yesterday. Obviously, a lot of people knew I just entered the trade. But we are suffering. Come right into this key support down here. So if we continue to close lower, we could come out the other end of 139. That's a problem. Lloyd's pulling right back as well. So potentially Lloyd's could easily come back towards the lower 40s. The way that's working at the moment. Standard Chartered sitting up better. HSBC holding up really well. So HSBC's got relative strength. Okay. Lloyd's went ex-dividend, right, okay. So that would make sense. Lloyd, okay, let's have a look at Lloyd's because it's an interesting stock anyway. So we've got all this support down there at 44, 43.80, 44. So if all we do is pop back and hold that, then my target 57 plus could still be very much intact. We're only drifting lower back into support at the moment. So, and that would take us back into this big 9th of March bar. So that would make sense to see that dip lower and subsequently pull up. Let's have a look at energy. Tallow doing well. Meeting with resistance again. Now, if tallow can come back and close above 60, then we could break. Volume is picking up. It looks sustainable at this point. If we can break 60, then I think we can go and see 78, 80. Golf. That's a concern. If we stay under this 250 mark, that could pull back deeper, potentially closer to £2. But if we pop back, at the moment, this just looks as if it's taking a breather. So as long as we can hold this support, and at some stage soon pop back above 250, then £3 is a possibility. Right, 88E has just got dumped. Right, basic materials. The diamond markets, I was looking at, what's the other one? This is gem diamonds. Yeah, I'll look at the health sector in a second. Yeah, good point. Gem diamonds doing really well. I've not got the other one on my list. This Elementis, I'm happy for this to drift lower for the moment. I've not taken a position in this, so I would love to see it get close to 105, 107. Currently here at 120. It's drifting, the volume's a bit pathetic, so I'll leave it. Man Group is just, what a trade. Volumes are still picking up. This has come off to 180, 245. TPI cap. It needs a yank down. It's stuck. So I would love to see that closer to 125, 130, and then getting it. But at the moment, I think that's likely. It just doesn't seem to want to go. Glen looks higher. Volume's holding up really well. Let's look at miners. That went ex-dividend as well, right? Okay. Poly attempting to recover. I still think that that's going to come back to close to 180, 190. Assuming that this is a recovery stock, it doesn't look good to me. This MGAM, I would get ready to buy into this. 294, 295 is my entry target on this. Let's take this red strip off. Let's clear this up. Need to do a bit more. I haven't done a full appraisal of MGAM yet, but I think that is a potential. This big American FCX pulling right back. Let's have a look at a POG. I haven't looked at POG for ages. I've given up looking at it. It looks so ill on the back of the Russian issue. Yeah, that's huge structural failure confirmed on the 21st of Feb, a few days before the war broke out. And yeah, wow, it was a really good stock. And it wasn't that long ago, it's 41p. Really handsome stock. So it has been, yeah, it was way up there. Wow. How the mighty fall. Yeah, I guess if you're really on the ball, you could potentially day trade it if it's moving, if the volatility is that good. But hey, that's a horrible stock. I mean, this big volume bar here, that's potentially just short covering. Not investors, but short covering. And you can see the lack of volume in that ever since. Right, I'll move on now. I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I would not touch that. Right. Any other miners before we cut across to, not looked at, let's get an update on PF. It's decent volumes, holding up. Griffin, yeah. Griffin is, wow. Nice trade. So gone from 80 to 116. Really shallow pullbacks. Really shallow. If you're not in that, it's difficult to get in. I take it, are you in that, Andy? Hostchild. Volumes are not great on that. Good, well done. CDE. Yeah, so silver's pathetic. The strong dollar's killing these US miners. HL and CDE are US miners, and they are struggling. I will, at some stage soon, potentially get in those though, if they do what I want. Right, let's look at, quick look at the healthcare. In the US, BMY is, wow. I love this stock. It fell off the cliff last summer. Absolutely fell off the cliff, but then the volume, look at the way the volume picks up. Down here at 52, and that's your big buy signal in my book. This dramatic increase in volume. A lot of traders just scoop that up, and it is going really well. Medtronic, another one of my favorites. That's up from 97.50 to 120. It's gapped up. It's closing some gaps now. But I still think that is a buy on a pullback. I don't know if it will do it, but I would like to see closer to 106. Right, let's look at your Astros. Yeah, absolutely flying. Pfizer's doing okay. Come to Pfizer in a minute. Are you in this, Yonja? Lovely chart pattern. You got GSK, okay. Phenomenal chart pattern. And if you look at, yeah, that's the 2021 range. Yeah, it says next stop 70 on AstraZeneca and GSK. Flavor of the day. And okay, I take that's snap as in the same as Yonja, not snap as in the stock snap. Right. Tremendous. That looks as if that's got 1811 on it. Volume's up. We could go and see the 20 mark up there. Steve, good to see you. Keep meaning to drop your line. Pfizer. Yeah, I'm in Pfizer and I hardly look at it. I just leave it. So I'm looking for at least 60. I'd like to think we could finish the year on 70 on this one, and it's still plenty of time to buy this. Plenty of time. It's just sitting up well on volume. Volume's getting better. It has slackened off. So I think this is still buyable at 50, 51. Tuck your stop under the 50 and see if that can get some momentum going. Lovely wave pattern. So you effectively got a sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you've got a 3-wave correction. So this tool's not working. This low here is potentially a C-wave correction. If that's true, if that pans out, then you could potentially do this. Could potentially do pinball fibs. Let's shift the whole thing up to there, and then start to look for 80, 87, 97. If we break out of that, I think that's achievable. Break out of that pattern on volume and start closing above 62, then you potentially got a runner. Right, what else do I want to look at? What else do you want to look at? I'll go over some day trading in a minute if you guys are interested. So I've covered let's look at some more biotechs. Gilead. This is an interesting stock. This is. Do you guys remind me? Do you guys trade US? Yonji, you do, don't you? Andy, no. But Yonji, you do, don't you? Is that right? Are you just UK, Andy? Yeah, I thought you did. Well, keep an eye on this Gilead because this is picking up as well on volume. Gilead, that's gap down, close the gap. BBIB, volumes are picking up on this one. I think I love this sector anyway, but I think this is okay. We need to hold above that 22 on that BIIB, right? Yeah, let's look at RM nail group. I don't like the fact the volume is so wimpish. We had a good volume in early March, and it just gave up. However, if I think we may see 280 or £3. I don't think this is finished dropping yet, but I will change my tune if we see higher volume and we start closing above. Well, we hold this area here and start closing above. But I wouldn't at this stage. I wouldn't be surprised to see that coming down to £283. Yeah, you mentioned this more before, haven't you? Were you researching for these guys? What were you doing for them? Out of interest. You don't have to tell me. I'm just nosy. Trapped in a range. I wouldn't trade it anyway. Let's have a look at. Yeah, I was going to look at seeing machines. And then I'll come on to your one, your two. Interesting uptick in volume today. So, I mean, if I was going to trade it, and I'm very nervous of speculative stuff at the moment because it's just underperforming. If we close above 8, then I think this could really. So if we come out of this box and close back inside it, we've come out of the box. If we close back inside the box on volume, then I think we can go up to 12. In the meantime, I would be very careful with anything speculative because it's just really struggling at the moment. Right, SSE. Yeah, it's in a big box for a while from the 5th of August. Yeah, notice this pattern when it comes out of the box. Any pullbacks, you've got to go, okay. Any pullback, yeah, I'll send the recording out. Any pullbacks to 1670 is a buy. It's continuing to come up on lower volume. If you're in this, be careful because we're going up on lower volume. So that might be exhausted. ENPH. Now, I remember it sold it, right. Okay, well, 2166 was a great place to get out. Right, right on that December 13 drop zone. Now, did you break even on it? Because I mean, you were in it and then it dropped, didn't it? Did you hold out for a sort of a break-even trade, or did you make money on it? What happened to you? You're still holding. Oh, okay. It's hit resistance up there. You're 30%. Oh, good, brilliant. Yeah, this dip in 24th, I thought the war broke out. That was a retest of the 28th of Jan buy signal, wasn't it? So we got a really nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's your target on this then, if you're still holding? $270s, right? Okay, yeah, and that's 260s is a tough area. Good. Anything else you want to look at? Let's just look at, I mean, some of the retailers are, and the Boo and ASOS, I think ASOS have got earnings on Friday, I think, Friday. They're just not doing it. Facebook. I'm just flicking around the market at the moment. And look how pathetic Facebook is. It says a lot about the markets. IAG dropping. Harrison struggling. Big dividend payers. Now this one's picked up. Okay, on volume. It's shuffling around. It's not for me, but it's Persimmon. Keep calling it Scion. Persimmon is really beginning to perk up. That's a really good question. Why do I think banks and insurance are going down? I just think it's, well, Barclays is going down because they got hit with a big fine. I'm not unduly worried about the banks drifting lower. I just think they have had a good run. And I mean, if you look at HSBC is holding up. And Standard Chartered is holding up. So it's only Lloyds and Barclays that are drifting lower. Well, Barclays definitely has got hit with a 250 million fine. But it's down in the key level of support, so I will still think that can do something. Let me look at Direct Line. Yeah, see Direct Line's pulling up on volume. Oh, right, okay. 3%, quite a chunk of stock then. Right, okay. So overall, I think the financial sector is good. But at the moment, IQE, that looks lower, unfortunately. Volume has picked up. We've gone back to a gap fill, haven't we? Looks a bit sad though, doesn't it? It's really not able to sustain itself. Look at the Money Supermarket. A little squirt higher, and then it's just faded. Looks as if that's coming down to 168. So yeah, I'm still short-termism. I'm not holding an awful lot of stocks over. See, that didn't even quite crash into a trend line. So that looks as if 168 is on the cards. All right, what else did I want to look at? Rio, yeah. Had a really good run. Volume was the key for this. A lot of volume at the lows. Volume still seems to be coming back in. Are you in this? It looks as if it might want to go to 64, 65. Any pullbacks to 59.50 are still viable. It's holding up on volume, so I would have thought 65 is possible, and 70 is the next target if we can punch through there. Okay. Why did you say that? What have you done a lot of research into Rio then? Okay. Or do you have first-hand knowledge of Rio? You just done research, or no? Okay, okay. Yeah, well, the market likes it. That's the most important thing. This is stepping up really nicely. All these little pullbacks at the moment are getting bought. So if we can sustain this run, then up we go. Brilliant. Right, anything else you want me to look at? Otherwise I'll disappear. Let me let's have a look at Chewy. We go and find Chewy. That's a good one. What have I done with Chewy? I have to punch it in. Can't see it. That's not the UK listing. Lower volume, so wow. Rolls Royce, yeah, I'm actually in this, taking a bit of heat. Volume was okay up until a few days ago. I think it's okay, but it's not brilliant. If this is a bullish consolidation, this dip, now we've dipped, we need to start picking up, because if we don't pick up now, then this has had it. So we've got to start picking up in the next few days, otherwise that's had it. All right, let's have a look at oil. Nothing else I want to look at the moment, I don't think. The Dow's had a nice pickup. Okay, so I was looking at oil, wasn't I? Yeah, oil is still squandering. This is the, so we are on the, we have a nice three-wave move into the gap, up to 50%, and then down to the extension. Very nice move. So we started to sell just before the invents came out. The Dow, yeah, Dow's come off of that March support very nicely. And we've not even got the minutes out yet. Brilliant. Okay, thanks guys. See you on